Welcome to the Hormone Health Boss Show, where each week we will explore the tools, strategies, and education you need to confidently advocate for your health, reduce your symptoms, and navigate your journey from peri to postmenopause like a boss. I'm on a mission to ensure all women receive the great menopause care they deserve, because no one should feel dismissed, overwhelmed, or left in the dark about their health. This show is empowering you to thrive in midlife, because just surviving isn't good enough. You have a purpose, my friend, and this world needs you at your best. It's time to thrive like the boss you are. Let's get started. Hey there, girlfriend. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Hormone Health Boss Show. I'm so glad that you are here today. I want to talk a little bit about something that is very, very important for all women. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're in your mid-30s and you have no idea what's ahead of you. And it doesn't matter if you're in your 70s and you think that menopause is long gone. Listen, menopause isn't just about hot flashes and mood swings. I don't know if you know that, but it's not. It's really our wake-up call to prioritize all of our long-term health. Maybe you're in your mid-30s and you think, I'm too young to have to worry about menopause. I'll worry about it later when I'm older. Or maybe you're in perimenopause, you know you're there, but you don't have a lot of symptoms. So it's not really something high on your list that you feel like you have to worry about right now. Or maybe you are one of those postmenopausal women who think, I'm already through that season and I don't need to think any more about it. Well, menopause is not just an old lady disease. You are never too young and you're never too old to take action and support your body to prevent long-term chronic disease and illnesses. And one of the most important things that I want you to understand is if we take a watch and wait approach, it's only going to lead to disease. And that's what so many women do. If we don't have glaringly obvious symptoms, and most people think about hot flashes and night sweats and mood swings, if they are not disruptive for our lives, many women will ignore this stage of life as much as possible. And then that leads them later on down the road to have so much disease and illness. So I want you today to know it doesn't matter your age. It's important that you learn how to take control of your health and your hormones, that you learn more about your body and you take action. So today we're going to uncover the hidden health risks of untreated menopause and how addressing your hormones now is critical in preventing long-term chronic disease. And I want you to stay tuned till the end because I have some special tips and strategies that you can implement today to take control. So let's get started. So in previous episodes, we have touched on how early the perimenopause process can begin, as early as your mid to late 30s, and how throughout this transition from peri to post menopause, your body is losing its optimal level of hormones. And every single cell, tissue, and organ system in your body is going to be impacted by this decline in your hormones. And of course, that's why women experience so many symptoms. But even if you're not experiencing symptoms, that decline in hormones is impacting all of the processes that are going on underneath that you just may not be aware of. So are you aware of the long-term chronic risks associated with the menopause transition? Maybe you've been told that these long-term issues or long-term disease processes are just part of the normal aging process, right? Just getting older. But there are many diseases that occur simply due to the loss of sex hormones during the perimenopause transition. And they can range from autoimmune issues to arthritis. Today, we are going to cover the big 3 that are very common in midlife, and they're often blamed on aging. All 3 of these are preventable if you have the right strategies and you take early action. So if you're young, listen up. You want to make sure that you're implementing these strategies that we're going to talk about at the end of the show so that you can prevent these long-term diseases. And if you are postmenopause and you are already experiencing some of these problems, you actually can reverse them. So take heart and let's dive in. So let's talk about the first of the big three, cardiovascular disease. Now, prior to menopause, women have essentially no risk for heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular disease, right? But suddenly, once we hit menopause, everything changes. And due to the drop in our estrogen and progesterone that we've experienced throughout that 10-year period of time, women's risk for heart attack and stroke actually equals that of men. So heart disease is still the number one killer of women in the United States. Number two, osteoporosis. This is the silent killer that most women think nothing about until they have a fracture. So prior to menopause, in our perimenopausal years, we are losing about 1 to 2% of our bone loss per decade. But once we hit menopause, that bone loss rapidly increases. And in the first 5 to 7 years post-menopause, we lose about 10% of our bone mass. This is scary, right? So 1 in 2 women over 50 are going to suffer from a fracture related to osteoporosis. So ladies, this is what puts us in a nursing home. This is what makes us have disability and maybe even death eventually. So symptoms to watch out for are usually fractures, right? So we don't even know this disease is occurring until we experience a fracture. Some women can have bone pain, back pain, low back pain is common, neck pain, and we can experience a loss in the height of our vertebrae, which you would be able to see maybe on a DEXA scan or on X-ray. But otherwise, it's typically a silent disease, and that's why it's so scary and why we need to take early action. Again, there are midlife strategies we can implement today, no matter your age, to help prevent and even reverse this condition. The third of the big three that I want to touch on today is cognitive decline. Our risk for dementia and Alzheimer's increases as we age. And for women, this is significantly higher even than that of men. So there are more women with Alzheimer's and dementia than there are men. And that is because estrogen is very protective of the brain. And it also controls other neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, and that impacts our short and long-term memory, our recall, our concentration. So the decline in hormones throughout perimenopause can increase the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's in postmenopause. So what are some of the strategies that we can implement in midlife to take control? First of all, hormones. Hormones impact every single cell, system, and body tissue, right? We already talked about this. It impacts our brain, our heart, our bones, our metabolism. It impacts everything. So first of all, if you are in earlier perimenopause, we want to treat any imbalances that you may be experiencing because that's going to lead to more disease and dysfunction and metabolic declines. And when our metabolism changes, that also increases our risk for all of these long-term issues that we may experience. If you're in late perimenopause or postmenopause, you may want to consider hormone therapy. I'm not going to dive into all the specifics of hormone therapy right now, but I do want to touch on the impact that it can have on the body system-wide. It isn't just about treating the symptoms that you're experiencing, like the hot flashes and mood swings. It's about supplying the body with what it needs to protect the brain, heart, and bones. So you may want to consider hormone therapy. Hormone therapy can be started as early as your late 30s or early 40s, depending on your particular situation. So make sure to discuss this with your provider. You can find more tips on how to prevent long-term illness and chronic disease in the show notes. I will put a link there for my free guide. All you have to do is click on the link. Before we go, I just want to encourage you to take early action. This isn't just going to save you time and money to take earlier action, but it's going to potentially save your life, right? I want you to be thriving, not just in midlife, but beyond midlife. I want to see you out dancing and enjoying life, spending your time with your grandkids, hiking, enjoying the outdoors, whatever it is that you like to do. That's what I want to see you doing. And I know, because of working with women for the last 13 years, what happens when we don't take action. Now, it can seem overwhelming, right? There's so many things that we think we need to do, but really small actions now are going to prevent bigger problems later. You have the power to change the trajectory of your health. Addressing your hormones isn't just about today, it's about thriving for years to come. All right, girlfriend, I just want to recap what we have talked about today. Menopause isn't just about symptoms. It's a critical time to prioritize your long-term health. And it doesn't matter if you're young or if you're old, you can take action today. This is about preventing heart disease, osteoporosis, and cognitive decline. So if you want help with tackling these issues, if you want to take action today, I want you to click the link below, grab my free guide that will help you with some simple strategies that you can put into place today with no special fancy tools, right? So don't wait for things to get worse. Don't wait for your symptoms to get worse to tell you to take action. Take action because you know you need to, and it's what's best for you and your health. In addition to that resource, I have an amazing new program kicking off January 2025 called Thrive in 30. This program is going to give you the tools, resources, and support you need to reduce your symptoms, take control of your health, and advocate for the care that you deserve in peri to postmenopause. This program is for every woman over the age of 35 because it doesn't matter how old you are. You're never too young and you're never too old to take control. So I hope to see you there. If you're interested in that, I'll also drop that link below. You can join the waitlist and be the first to know about Thrive in 30. All right, girlfriend, that's all the time we have left for today. Keep thriving like the boss you are, and I'll see you next week.